Ginormous Jo's New Family Member. Written, illustrated and narrated by S C Cunningham. Once upon a time, a huge white cuddly dog called Jo lived with two little dogs called Muttley and Tom, a ginger cat called Vinny, and a lovely lady called Mary. One day, the animals were snoozing in the garden, enjoying the sunshine. Mary stepped out of the house to join them. She sat in her favourite garden chair, closed her eyes, tilted her head back, and felt the warm sun on her face. The animals gathered around her, sensing that she had something to say. "Well, I have a question to ask," she smiled, reaching down to tickle Muttley under his chin. "Do you remember the lovely Polish family who live around the corner?" Tom tilted his head to one side, trying to remember. "You remember, Tom." She patted him on the head. "The family with the two lovely little boys called Timon and Joshua. The boys love cars and adore animals, especially cats. They have a kind big sister called Chantal. Do you remember?" Vinny purred. He remembered them. They'd been very kind to him when he was little. He remembered their big, loving hugs. "Well, they're grown-ups. Ivana and Lezik are looking for a new home for a sweet little kitten called Arthur. I was wondering if you'd like him to join our family. It's a very big decision to make, so I'll give you some time to talk about it together, and then you can let me know." Mary got up and went back into the house. The animals looked at each other, half with excitement, half with fear. Jo smiled and asked, "So what do you think? Would you like Arthur to join us?" Said Tom. "I'm a bit scared." "Me too," said Muttley. Jo nodded her head. "I can understand. It's always a bit frightening when a new person joins a family. I remember how annoyed you were, Tom, when Vinny first arrived, and look at you now. You're the bestest of friends." "I know, and I can't imagine ever being without Vinny," nodded Tom, playfully bashing Vinny with his paw. Vinny lay back and purred with happiness. Tom loved it when Vinny purred. The sound made him feel very calm and cosy. "You had blue eyes when you arrived, Vinny," said Muttley. "They've changed. Now they're a golden colour, and it's like magic. How does that happen?" "Some cats have blue eyes when they're born," said Jo, "and they change colour as they get older. Vinny is now 6 months old. He's becoming a grown-up." Vinny snuggled into the grass, feeling very proud to be called a grown-up. "I wonder if Arthur has blue eyes," he sighed, "and if he's a ginger cat like me." "Why are you scared, Tom?" asked Jo, bending down to listen to her little friend. Tom didn't admit to being scared often. He was a strong little dog. Jo looked him in the eye, letting him know that she was listening, giving him her full attention. "Well?" Tom shrugged. "I'm a bit embarrassed to say this, and I'm not being mean, honestly I'm not. But what if there's not enough love to go around? What if another person joining our family means that I get less of everything? Less love, cuddles, food, toys, time with Mary?" He shifted from one paw to the other, feeling uncomfortable, but he wanted to tell the truth about how he felt. "I'm not being greedy. I just like things the way they are," he continued. "What if a heart can get too full? Maybe Mary's heart won't have enough room to fit us all in. Will she still love me as much?" He shook his head. "And it will mean that I have to share everything. It's hard to share my things. Change makes me nervous." Muttley nodded. "I feel the same, Jo. Change is a bit scary." But what if it's all good change? What if you get more of everything? Asked Jo. What if Arthur makes you feel even more special than you do now, like Vinny did? The animals looked at each other. Vinny gave a playful nudge to Tom, nearly toppling him over. Tom giggled. Jo continued. When Vinny first came, you said that cats and dogs don't like each other, that you're too different to get along. Now you know better. You know that thinking like that is silly. Everyone is unique and everyone is special. Being different makes for an even more interesting friend, with a lot more fun things to learn from each other. You don't need to be scared. You should be excited because it's a new adventure. Tom and Muttley looked at Vinny. Vinny tilted his head and whispered to his friends. If little Arthur becomes part of our family, he may be very lonely and scared when he first arrives, just like I was. But you two were the bestest big brothers ever. You helped me feel safe and taught me lots of things. Now we can do the same for Arthur. Mary has a big, humongous heart with plenty of love for all of us. The two of you are good at this bestest big brother stuff. You can do it. Tom nodded. He knew deep down that it was time to grow up and be brave and not be selfish. He actually liked being a good big brother. It was fun. And he got even more love, not less. He stood tall and made a decision. I'm in, he said. What about you, Mutters? Muttley stared back at them, not sure. Go on, said Tom. We're the bestest big brothers ever. We can do this. Okay. But if I get tired babysitting, you have to take over so we share all the work. He grinned, liking the title of bestest big brother ever. I don't think there'll be a lot of work. Arthur would just follow you around, copying everything you do, smiled Jo. What, everything? Even the mistakes? Asked Tom. Yep, even the mistakes, Jo nodded. If you want to be a really good big brother to Arthur, I could tell you some very important secrets. Oh, what secrets? Vinny asked, his eyes wide with excitement. He liked secrets. They made him feel like a superhero on a very important mission. Jo lowered her voice to a whisper. The gang stepped closer. Secret number 1. A child needs to feel safe, secure, and loved. He needs to feel part of a family. It will help him grow and be strong. Secret number 2. When he does something well, praise him. It will give him confidence. Secret number 3. When he makes a mistake, let him know gently. Be patient. Everybody makes mistakes. It's how we learn things. Secret number 4. Listen to him when he tells you something. Sit quietly and look into his eyes. It lets him know that what he has to say is important, and this will build the trust between you. Jo took a deep breath and continued. Secret number 5. Never shout at him. He will feel bad and shrink away and not trust you anymore. Secret number 6. Respect him and he will respect you and others. Secret number 7. Encourage him to play. Playing helps you to get to know each other and is good for a big, strong, healthy body. Secret number 8. Teach him to be honest, to be kind, and how to work out problems, and he will grow into the bestest grown-up ever. Oh my, said Tom. That's a lot of things to remember. We're going to help make an amazing grown-up. Yes, you are, smiled Jo. Everyone deserves a chance, whether a new member of your family, school, or village. Jo, are you the bestest big sister ever? Said Muttley. I think you've been teaching us all these things, he smiled, nodding his head. Yep, beamed Jo, and you have become wonderful grown-ups. Now it's your turn to pass the secrets on. Are you ready for your superhero mission? Mary popped her head out of the kitchen window, making them all jump with surprise. They looked up at her. What have you decided? She asked. Is little Arthur coming to stay with us? Jo looked at the gang. Well, what is it to be? Are you ready to be the bestest big brothers ever? They all leapt into the air with excitement. Vinny purred loudly, while Muttley and Tom barked at the top of their voices. Yes, 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 they shouted. Jo looked up at Mary and slowly nodded her head. Mary understood and smiled. Right then, she said. I'd better call Ivana and give her the good news. Meanwhile, it's supper time, everyone. Food, she shouted as her head popped back inside. The gang loved food. They jumped up and ran into the house, feeling very grown up with their very important secret superhero mission. Tom shouted after Jo. Could you go over the secrets again, please? I want to learn them off by heart. Mary's voice could be heard over their chatter. She was on the telephone. Hello, Ivana, is that you? It's a big fat yes. We would love to have little Arthur join our family. Tell Lezik and Joshua and Timon and Chantal to give him lots of big fat hugs until he gets here. The end.